You are now listening to the most electrified and vilified podcast on the net, the Hot Topix Podcast. Welcome everyone to the Hot Topix Podcast. This is Psycho 4081, and we're here with
Lamb Chop
and
I don't have a name. Sorry.
She doesn't have a name again.
Juicy. Was she Juicy last week? I like Juicy.
Juicy.
How he says it. Say it for me again, Brian.
Juicy. So, thank you all for joining us today because we have something special.
Oh, we do?
Yes, we have something special. We're not going to do the local stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
You know,
We're doing the
trending.
international stuff.
Because we're going to, it was a lot.
Okay.
It's like we'll do that another time. So we're going to talk about cults.
Yes.
C-U-L-T-S.
Yes.
Not to be confused with Colts.
Yeah,
Like
that
the
used to be the Baltimore
Colts.
Colts.
Yeah.
That used to be.
But you know how it still flows Baltimore Colts more than the Indianapolis Colts. And
Yeah, that's what happens when you steal
Baltimore.
something. It don't
Yeah.
sound right.
Baltimore Colts.
I can't say steal something.
Yeah, I was pissed off about that when I was a kid.
It was a lot of people devastated when that happened.
Only because of the way it sounded.
Okay. That's not why people were devastated.
I didn't know nothing about no Baltimore, but I know the Colts are supposed to be in Baltimore.
And
So-
look at you now.
I know. Ooh, I like Baltimore though. I will say I do like Baltimore.
Well, I mean, you've made a life here with your children.
Yeah.
And me.
And some friends.
So did I ever tell you how I found lamb chop and
Whatever.
felonious?
Nobody
No,
cares. Nobody
we
cares
have
about
this
your story.
conversation.
And it
We
said
are not having this
found,
right.
like found
I
right.
found
Are we
we
like
were
lost
kittens.
cats? Or
Yes.
something?
Kittens
Oh my
in a
God.
basket.
how I rescued you. So, all
Oh,
right.
wow. Hero
Yeah.
Brian.
So we're gonna talk about cults, and
Yes.
the reason why this particular topic came up because we used to always talk about political stuff, and I was always to say one to say that these MAGA people were in a cult.
Right.
So thought that was a pretty good topic. Lamb Chop wanted to shed some light on there, and hopefully you guys will have an opportunity to actually know what a cult is and can actually identify it. And if you're in a cult, we can get you some help and get some we call it you get it while you're in it. That's the intervention, and then get help after. It's two separate services.
Right.
Okay. So
And I have to say, after I did my deep dive, most people don't believe that they're in a cult. So I'm
Yeah.
not really sure if they will ask for help. But some people get it after a while. They do.
Gooder. I threw that in there. But
What is wrong with you?
so yeah, while we start, we kicking off with this cult thing. Just want to let you know, Felonious has spent the last 10-15 seconds looking at herself in the phone in the mirror.
You know
Just
what? What
shut
is
up.
wrong with you? She can do that. Why can't she
And I
do
wasn't even
that?
doing that. I wasn't even doing that. I was
Puckering up her lips.
see what I was doing.
I know what you was
You
doing.
do not have to explain whatever
Look
it
at what I
was
was
that you were
doing.
doing.
No, you wasn't.
That's what
No,
I
you
was doing
wasn't.
because I wanted to talk about my.
Do you have to move your head? Do you have to move your head for that?
Yeah. I'm looking at it because this is my phone. Like, mind your business.
Yeah,
Stop
did
looking
you-
at
did
me.
you ever- did you
Face your podcast.
Did you ever
Face
have to
your
pucker
podcast.
your lips?
Leave me alone. I don't know you. I don't see you. Leave me alone.
Oh my
right.
goodness, you're a hot
Where's
mess.
where's the thing you went all the way to the place for?
Hmm?
Oh my God. So old. Weren't you supposed to get us some
Water?
Yeah.
You said you had Coke.
I said no. We have. What's yours?
Right here.
Oh, I said you're so old.
Mine, yours.
I hate when you call him old because I'm older than he is. So I'm just like, oh,
Well,
I'm just
feminine
granny with a
old
cane.
is different from masculine old.
All right, I'm gonna take that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
So,
take that.
yeah.
Masculine old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like you're like 2 times older
yeah. There you go.
I'm older acting maybe.
in everything. In everything. You like to be an old man. I don't know why, really.
Because back in the you saw was it Saturday morning or Sunday afternoon Kung Fu theater?
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Who was the baddest motherfuckers around? It was always the old
The
dude with
older
the
guys,
long white
you're
beard.
right.
That's right.
Would
You're
you like me
right.
to buy you a cane for your birthday? Team.
We really should do that.
So
We should
to
do
complement
that.
the look.
Bedazzle it.
I would turn into a weapon for the
He probably
West-
would.
for the weapon that I am.
Yes.
All right, so
You're not the Kung Fu master.
what we need to do first is, do you have the definite? Can you?
I do.
do?
I,
Okay.
I'm telling you guys, I did a deep dive, and
Okay.
the more you read, the more it says check out this page, and it was fascinating. Now, let me preface this: I've always been a little bit fascinated with cults, and I think because when the whole Jim Jones and Jonestown thing was happening, I was relatively young, but old enough to know. Well, I wasn't that young. It was like 78. So I was old enough to know what was actually happening and going on. So, and I you couldn't get away from it. You couldn't get away from it at that time because we only had 3 or 4 TV channels. So you had to watch whatever
except
was
you-
on, and it was on a lot. So, let's do the definition.
Okay.
So Webster's definition of a cult is a religion regarded as unorthodox. 1. 2, a great devotion to a person, idea, object, momentum, or public work, like a movie or book.
Okay.
3, a system of religious beliefs and rituals. 4, a misplaced or excessive admiration of a particular person or thing.
Oh my God.
That was pretty loud, but
Yeah, very loud. And 5, a group requiring unwavering
Don't
devotion
do that. Don't do that.
to a set of beliefs
I
and
thought you were gonna
practices.
do it again. Shit.
how dare you interrupt her?
Because you're about to bust my ear.
I'm not.
That was very loud. Okay, so the last definition is a group requiring unwavering devotion to a set of belief or practices which are considered deviant outside of the norm.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's the definition.
So, all right, when I heard that, one of the things that I would have had an issue with is the norm or out of the ordinary, is
Right.
the first one, right?
Right.
So, and typically when you talk to people, they always say they think anything's a cult outside of their, what's called Islam, Christianity, or
Catholicism,
right?
Judaism. Mm-hmm.
So that's, and really, it could be all of them.
Right.
Every religion could be
Right.
considered right.
So I did cult versus religion.
Okay.
Because some people believe that religion is a cult.
Okay.
So religions seek a mass following. Cults rely on secrets and special knowledge that's only within that group.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. Oh, and you only believe what that chosen founder, the leader, has told you. So if someone outside of the leader tells you something differently, then you don't believe it, you might be part of a cult.
Okay.
But some people could say that about religion too. So
That's
I was
true.
just like, that
Like
wasn't
Psycho.
really.
Psycho would say that about religion.
I would because it doesn't matter how much information you put out in front of somebody. A fallen rock, say the rock fell. Well, no, they would say no because in the Bible or in the such and such it says this. That's
Right. And I think that what we forget is man wrote the Bible.
correct.
So a lot of times we have to remember that, especially if people follow it. Absolutely.
Ancient men.
Yes.
At that.
She's men of faith.
Men of faith.
What
Yes.
No, I said ancient men.
And I'm saying men of faith.
Yeah. Right.
They
That's
not
not
all of them were men of faith.
Who wasn't?
A lot of the books that there when that was a lot of people who actually wrote, a lot of men that actually wrote the books of the Bible.
It was just different translation.
No. Mm-mm. It was a lot of different men that wrote the
Yeah.
books of the Bible.
Yes.
That happened over hundreds, thousands of
Right.
years.
Years. Mhm.
And then all of a sudden somebody decides to, hey, let's bring all this stuff together, and decide to throw some of them away, not throw them away, but exclude some and then add some. So that's how it was compiled. It wasn't like everybody had the
Original
one
book.
thought.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we can get into that. I mean, that's a deep.
Yeah,
that's a
that
deep-
is that
deep
is
conversation.
definitely a deep dive.
I like to bust those up.
Whatever.
Okay. Characteristics of a cult leader. Now this is where I was just like, oh.
You're in a cult.
No, no.
Like realizing you're in a cult?
I was realizing that some of the things that Psycho would say all along about a particular person may be right.
She's not in a cult. She's in a coven. It's a difference.
That's like witches.
I'm gonna do some wishly magic on this one when the show is over. If you call him later and can't get in touch with him,
I know what
might be a
happened.
reason. Might be a reason.
Cult, coven.
So a cult leader has to have charisma.
Okay.
They have to be charming and can persuade people to do things that they wouldn't normally do.
Like a pimp.
Pimps would be considered charismatic for some people.
Mm-hmm.
They want to have
Authoritarian.
control.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I don't know why that word wouldn't work for me today.
And then she had a nerve to actually try to save it.
You're so old.
Yeah,
all I can
just,
say.
yep.
I
Right
don't know
there,
what to say.
right there. You're a mess today. Stop it. So of course you have to believe whatever they tell you, and you cannot question what they say.
Okay.
You know, if you're gonna participate in the cult, you can't question what they say. You have to believe everything they say. They operate on isolation. They will isolate you from your family and friends, and it's always a them versus us mentality. They out there are coming to get us.
Okay.
And if you don't believe what I say or do what I say, you're going to get caught up in whatever they are doing. And it's not going to be good for you.
So is it a combination of any of these, or do you have to have all of those points?
It's a combination of these. You don't have to have all of them, but most people who are cult leaders have almost all of them.
Okay.
Almost all of them. Exploitation. Of course, they will exploit their followers in any way they can. And it's usually, what I found interesting is usually they're all men. Usually, there are a few women out there that I found,
mostly men.
But it's mostly men, and they usually have sexual relationships with the women in the cult. Almost all of them do in some kind of way. Either it's like
It's
only
like
a group of women,
kind of thing.
right? It's absolutely a brainwashing kind of thing. So you know what? They will play on your irrational fears.
Where do I apply?
I think Psycho has a cult of his own.
Yeah, in his mind.
No, he has. Yeah,
He has a cult in his mind.
No,
I don't have a cult.
you do.
No, I don't.
You do.
I don't fit none of those definitions.
You do.
No, I don't.
Okay. And last but not least, they're usually narcissistic.
Pow.
Pow pow.
So that sounds like MAGA, except for the isolation
I was
thing,
waiting for
Right.
that. Yeah.
Right.
because they want to bring more.
People in.
Yeah, MAGA.
Yeah.
MAGA.
I mean, like a lot of it described Trump. And I kept giving you kept saying, that's not true. Don't say that. It's not, don't say that. But a lot of it really did.
Yes.
And I was just like, ooh, especially that, reasonable fear and that us against them. Because he's always
Yes,
telling
the
them,
us against them.
you got to do what I say. And that's the other thing. He wants blind loyalty.
Right.
And that's a cult leader. You have to have blind loyalty to him, but he doesn't give you any.
Right.
And that's what that said. He doesn't give you any.
And that's the alarming part about him in particular, because he appoints people in key positions
Right.
that have, loyalty,
To him.
but not qualified for the position. Like you have no expertise in the position, but because you're loyal to me, that's a problem.
Right. Right. But clearly he has proven that he doesn't have any loyalty to his
Anybody,
friends
of course.
because all of them are going to jail and he has not spoke out to help
Any of them.
of them.
No, he hasn't.
Not one.
Because he.
Well, he
is
did
in
pardon.
denial,
He did
though.
pardon one, that sheriff in Arizona
Okay.
from but he shouldn't have, but that was definitely a bad thing. But
who else?
But then he was very loyal to him too.
Okay.
So
All of them were.
Yeah,
Until
that's
they
true.
went to jail.
That's true.
They all were.
No, even after jail, only person that went to jail that didn't was actually wasn't loyal was his lawyer,
Michael Cohen.
Michael Cohen. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy to me. Like it's you can't question them. And I'm not talking about Trump. I'm just saying
Right.
in
Yeah.
general. You cannot question a cult leader. You have to do whatever they say. You have to. If he says give all your worldly possessions, then that's what you are going to have to do in order to be part of the team, I guess. And I also thought it was interesting that the reason people join cults is kind of like the same reason people join gangs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it talked about comfort,
Mm-hmm.
self-improvement.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people feel like their lives are going to be improved if they join this group. Like, you know, he's telling everybody that your life is going to be better. Just listen to me. All the
Right.
things that I'm going to do for your life is going to be better. And it's just like, yeah.
I would imagine fraternities too and sororities.
Yeah.
Same as gangs, except that the motivation is not criminal activity.
Right.
Got the hand signs, colors,
True. Colors. You're right.
secret stuff.
You're right. Yeah. I'm sure some people
Except they're educated.
fraternities and sororities will have some things to say about that. Low self-esteem is another reason why people join.
Mm-hmm.
Spiritual fulfillment and a self of belonging. I'm unsure about the spiritual fulfillment.
I would agree.
But-
I would agree fully with that one.
Why?
Depends on the type of
Oh,
cult.
I guess depends on what type it is.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
most people, when they go into any type of religious organizations, because that's what they're actually looking
Right,
for,
right.
regardless.
That's
You know,
true.
Christianity,
Right.
Islam, whatever.
That's true. But
And I think we all do seek that at one point or another.
But Maga, I don't. What's the spiritual?
No, not Meg. Not. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Well, I'm
But-
just you give an example. Like
Right.
It's a cult, so
Okay.
it's kind of a cult. So what spiritual, whatever would they be seeking?
But they have the other things that
right.
would say they're a cult, not so much the spiritual part.
Mm-hmm.
Their spirit. Oh, they got the spiritual part. They're
Oh well, I remember
they're-
they wrote the Bible and whatever and merged the Bible kind of thing.
No,
no.
their spiritual part is that guy who took a bullet in his ear for for America. That's the spirit. They put him up there with Jesus. Seriously, I watch these things. I see all the little feeds on the internet. They actually have him up there.
So they
with
feel
Jesus.
like he's been crucified? Is that?
That's one. Yeah, and that
Okay.
he's rightly guided.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Okay. And that's how a lot of the cults feel, like their leader is being rightly guided or guided by God or
Mhm.
guided in some kind of way. So it is a lot of information out there. A lot of scary information out there because it is very, very scary. It is very scary.
Are there any good cults? You think? But no, I'm not asking you. Are there? Do you think that some cults could be good for people or good in general?
Okay, so the whole time, I mean, I spent a half a day on this. I did not find one
Good. Yes.
that said everything turned out okay.
Yeah.
I
Since
did
it's
not
a cult,
find one.
it's a secret organization or
Mhm.
whatever. So there's nothing good. It's like one person trying to dominate
Right.
other people. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? So kind of like that. So there's
Yep.
nothing good that can come out of that. I don't think there's any good thing. Majorly.
What do you think? I mean, do you think there are any good ones?
I think. Well, I don't know if any. If there, I think it depends on who's leading the charge.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that some of them. Now, mind you, Christianity was a cult at one time. Before it was accepted by Emperor, whatever his name was. Before that, it was just a really insignificant cult. So I think some good can come out of it, and I think it depends on who's leading the charge. If you're doing something for a righteous reason, even if it's something, because remember, you said it's something that's not widely accepted or
Right.
out of the ordinary.
Right.
So you can have somebody that comes in and say, well, hey, this is what I believe and this is why, blah, blah, blah. And I think you should do this, and all good stuff, right?
But my point is, if it's a blind following,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing good is good because you don't have your own will. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But most religions is a blind following. Seriously, most religions are, but because they tell you, have faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they go on. They don't go on science because a lot of times when people have the thing about the faith and the science and a conflict, they're going to go with faith, which one gives them comfort. because science doesn't always give people comfort.
Right.
Religion could give somebody comfort. Oh, there's going to be an afterlife where I'm going to get 140 virgins or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And, Beyonce in her gowns. That's my heaven. but you get it though. There's always a comfort element to that. So, I think sometimes is needed. And if I look at a cult, I want to say every religion has a cult. I mean, is typically a cult, except for that part about the isolation part.
Okay.
Take that out of there. Every religion is a cult. They want you to blindly believe. They want you to have faith. They do ask you to do good things.
Right.
Some ask you to believe some crazy stories. All of them do, actually. All of them have something.
Okay, what would you consider a crazy story? Like, you can't just say that and not have an example.
He has examples.
Oh, he has examples?
Yeah, of Christianity and the sun and how the sun rose again 3 days.
I did hear that one.
And
I did hear that
and
one.
then
You're
it's the
right.
sun,
No.
it's actual sun.
No, I mean,
it's not the
that's
sun.
That's not. When I say crazy stories, I'm talking about like, all right. So you have things that if somebody was to tell you right now, today, that this happened,
Like Moses talking to a burning bush.
Yes.
Okay.
Like he was taking some shrooms.
Well, had a psychotic break.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or.
But how do we know? We
Jonah,
know that it didn't happen.
Because wait a minute, because I'm gonna tell you why. Because
Miracles happen.
Miracles do happen. Exactly. You know what a miracle is? A miracle is something that's unexpected, that you have a fortune for. That's
and
all it
unexplained.
is. Unexplained. And that makes it either everything in this world is either science, unexplained science, or explained science. So I know that a whale of that sort is not going to swallow a man. He's going to sit in there for so many days because he can't fit.
Happen. No, it can't happen. It can happen.
It cannot.
And
it's
how about,
physically, scientifically impossible.
Noah's Ark.
Yes, let's bust it up while we're here.
Noah's
Ark.
Did you start?
Noah's Ark. Because there's no way you're gonna get two species of every animal to come across this big globe to come on this little boat.
But that story was funny because
and not take 1,000 years to get there.
No, like what part of the world did that happen? Like, is it
right? That was my question.
Yeah,
yes.
some animal. No, you can get all the animal. Maybe all the animals used to roam everywhere in the world. Maybe back then.
Right. So I was like physically, where did he live? Because were there kangaroos where he was living? Like, how did the kangaroos get? So yeah, I would have some questions.
And some animals will perish by leaving their environment.
Yeah,
so
did the ants come and the cockroaches too? Like I always had all of those questions.
Exactly. So you on the ark, you sitting there stepping on roaches.
You can't step on them because then they have to
and it's
recreate
male and female.
So that's his fault then, because he could have saved us some trouble. You could have said,
"Please, I'm not going to hell with you."
You could have smashed that mosquito, stepped on that roach. So hey, but every
roach and they help in the food chain. So yeah,
they do.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, well, not in people's houses. But every religion has that because it kind of
keeps people in check. It keeps people in check
to convince people. Oh, this is a powerful thing, or this is special. This is whatever. I got dragon's blood.
Oh my God.
Everything.
You know one thing I want to tell you. You're a bad influence in my life because I've never, I've never ever had cause to doubt or to
question.
Think about,
that's not a bad influence.
Whatever. You're a bad influence.
I'm bringing you into the light.
No, I don't want to be brought into the light.
I know. See, blind faith, right? She likes to stay in the darkness.
Yeah, whatever.
Listen.
That's my light. But like, you always make me question these things. Like,
But see, at least you're not blindly following because you're
she
questioning.
But she's still doing
she's
it.
questioning. You don't question the cult leader.
No, but she questions silently, and then she decides against her common sense or will or how she puts things together in her head, and then says, "Well, I'm just gonna go over here because it's more comfortable."
No, I'm gonna do it because it doesn't. What I'm saying in my mind is like, okay, well, it doesn't harm me. It's not doing any bad thing to me. It's not doing anything.
Right.
It's not inconveniencing me for any reason. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? So I might as well do it if it checks
it
out.
makes you
At
feel
the end,
better.
no, at the end of the day, if it checks out,
Sinner.
good. And if it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? If it checks out good, maybe what if that is really what if it is real? You get what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm not losing anything.
But you already,
I'm doing
but
it.
you already
but
violated everything.
I'm doing it, but still.
But what? You already violated everything.
No. So it's not going to cost me nothing.
She has not violated
No.
everything.
What
She
has-
has not
she's
violated.
Isn't that mixed
What?
mixed fabric or whatever?
Polyester? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
The Bible says you're not supposed to
Isn't
wear
that in
polyester.
Leviticus?
I don't know what you're talking about. Move.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's in Leviticus.
I don't know. Well,
She hasn't killed anybody.
and we threw away the Old
That's it?
Testament. Well, since
I'ma
Jesus
fight
came,
you.
we've been following the New
I'ma
Testament.
fight you.
Wait a minute.
Since Jesus came, we've been following the New Testament.
Yeah, so down here's the ridiculousness of it, right? So they had this thing that was, this holy book, and all of a sudden somebody comes out with something and they say, well, we're going to throw the old part away. We're going to just start with chapter 2.
Yeah, because when Jesus came, he washed away our sins and stuff. So.
Yes, and
So old things are passed away.
if I was a traveler from another planet and I came here and I heard you tell a story, I'm like, these people are crazy out their ass.
Whatever.
I'm just saying, it's realistic.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's your belief. So
It's not my belief. I'm just saying
That is
Okay,
your belief.
that's
no.
your belief.
I'm not saying that her thing is wrong. I'm saying that on the outside, looking in, every religion has that crazy story that doesn't make sense. It doesn't follow no type
So
of
you're saying
scientific
everything
evidence.
has to make sense to you?
I don't think everything has to make sense, but I'm just saying that there's always going to be that
but
element
spiritual things don't make sense. Basically,
I mean, she got a point.
that's
okay.
why spiritual. So
Well, but the
there's
thing
a
is,
point.
y'all try to make it make sense.
well, people. So you cannot make. So if things don't happen and people have not seen things happen, you cannot. So it's basically it's like where I'm from. I keep telling him this, and even other whatever. Laugh. Everybody that I know, even people that I know. So if you've not seen life, if you grew up in this part of the world, I envy you. And yes, because where I'm from, you might think it's a hoax or whatever is made up or whatever, people try to make it up, but things actually happen. Stop making me laugh.
Why are you looking at her like that? Why are you looking at her like that? Like, I feel like I'm out. I'm not. It's an inside joke
It's
that
not
I'm missing.
I'm just listening to her. I'm giving you
Okay.
my full
And I don't
undivided.
and then I don't after the I don't want you to say anything. We're moving on. I'm just putting this out there. I don't want you to comment. Don't
I'm not
say
co-
nothing.
Did I say anything?
I'm just saying, don't say anything. I don't want to hear it from you. But then the fact is, things actually happen, and things have happened where I'm from in Africa that has made people cling more. Like, yeah, you see a lot of stupid, unrealistic videos. Like, people just blindly following stupid things, stupid videos. Like, somebody started selling stone from, is it heaven or water from heaven or water
why
from...
does it make it stupid though or silly? It could happen.
It doesn't make sense.
It could
Okay,
happen.
you just picking at this point.
No,
So,
I'm
right?
saying
Whatever.
the same
Give me an
argument
example.
could be
Whatever.
made. The
I'm
same
just
argument could
saying,
be
no,
made.
no, that doesn't make sense because that happened. But anyway, so yeah, a lot of things that has happened. He doesn't believe in, like, there's voodoo or whatever, that which I believe in, and for reasons best known to me and best known to people that grew up in Africa. You get what
Right.
I'm saying? So it's
Right.
not something that because you did not grow up there and then you don't know so much about stuff, you just feel like, oh, it's not logical, it cannot happen. You get what I'm saying? But people that have seen stuff and really, really seen stuff in life, they know that things happen beyond the ordinary.
I know.
you
I agree with that.
And
I agree with
beyond
that.
what we can explain.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I agree,
So,
I agree
but-
with that because they got a place over there in Towson.
Whatever.
with a
I just said
whole
don't
full of
say.
them.
Just,
Full of them
just
that
don't say.
that
Don't say nothing.
seen a lot of things.
Whatever. So as I was saying, just leave him alone. He's special.
They got
so,
what's it called? A Shepherd Pratt.
whatever.
You are not. You are not.
So yeah, basically. So that's why people
Spring
tend
Grove.
to please. So that's why people tend to cling more to something to help them out of whatever. Sometimes they overdo it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think, oh, 1,000 ways to die. You know, you don't have electricity. you don't have good roads and stuff. Those are ways to die. Those are like normal things. Everything doesn't have to be spiritual. You get what I'm saying? Some things are just logical. Some things are just bad governance. Some things are just, but people just try to attach it to something that, okay, well, maybe God did this, God did that.
Right,
you know what
right.
I'm saying? Which is also because of things they've seen. So anything to give them hope is what they're going to go with, So, but you don't judge because you have not lived that life.
I didn't judge anybody.
I don't care. I know you. That's what I'm saying.
Don't judge.
I know you.
I didn't judge anybody.
I know you, and that's why I'm saying this. I'm putting it out there because
I don't judge anybody.
You judge. You
I don't
say
judge.
you don't believe. You be like,
I don't have to believe not to judge them.
Yes, because you always, it's my belief.
I didn't say that. I didn't say you was crazy.
I don't care. You don't have to say for me to know what you think. So, as I was saying, so things have happened, and I'm sure people have stories to tell about things that have happened. So because
I'm not getting in this. I'm not getting in the middle of this. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not.
All right, we got you. I believe you.
Whatever. I don't need you to. I don't need you to believe me.
You just personally attacked me.
I don't need. Yeah, because we've had this conversation 1,000 times.
I'm saying, but I support you in your belief.
I don't need you to support me in my belief.
But I'm gonna support you in your belief.
I don't care. I don't need you to support me. I'm just gonna put it out there. So
right, and I'm gonna support
I don't
you.
care if you believe me.
I'm gonna support you.
I don't care
So
what you think.
okay, we gonna stop this. I'm gonna ask you a question because you two will go back and forth all night. So where you're from in Africa, do they have cults? Like
yes.
is this
So I was
something-
having this conversation with him. What we call cult is not the kind of cult you just mentioned, like following somebody blindly and stuff like that. So the kind of cults we have are like, he called them gangs, but that's what we consider cult in Nigeria. It's
Okay.
like,
Just different terminology.
Okay.
yes. So it's like mostly university where they're always like, okay, well, I think they have some for girls, and then guys, they're always like a fraternity kind of thing where they are killing people, like they
Oh
are
my
feared.
God.
Yes, they are so feared, like everybody's scared of them.
Yeah, we would call that a
And
gang here.
Yes.
And they
and then
have
they
secret
perform
societies.
yes, like a secret, yes, and then they perform rituals
Okay.
and all of that. And so even people after they graduate, they continue in that line of whatever work or whatever it is. And then you see them in government, in whatever, like even here, people from over there, they come and then they have their signs and their whatever, and they continue that kind of thing.
Wow. So they they bring whatever they're doing from Africa to the United States.
Yeah.
And find people who
Yes.
follow. Okay.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So they have a lot of them. So cultism for us is not like the usual, we're following one person that is. So this is like, they do initiation
Oh yeah.
and stuff like that. Yes. They do that kind of thing. And I think they have for women, they have for men. It's usually like a violent group, I would say. So
Okay.
So, but they do have secret societies that believe certain things and perform certain rituals and something. Matter of fact, they just had that in Sierra Leone, where a group of guys wanted to take over or start a coup actually, and they went to this person who was supposed to give them some charms to make them bulletproof. Right? Yeah. But they also have, even within the culture, there's different secret societies.
Yes,
Right.
correct.
And they have the rituals and
Okay.
And cult to also be termed as cult is like mostly in Africa. I think cult is as opposed to following somebody. It's like the person has like a kind of God or whatever that everybody's following kind of thing. Mostly like that. Beliefs like, oh, okay, we're going to do certain rituals and then stuff is going to make us rich. We're going to make more money kind of stuff like
Gotcha.
that.
So they do
Mostly
a lot
like
of
that.
what they call the prophets or prophetess
Right.
or whatever. They have that, and they'll say, if you give me such and such money, I will do X, Y, and Z. Well, you'll be abundant.
Right.
Yes. Usually, I think those are usually done. Well, based on movies, they're usually done at night, and mostly men, anyways.
Yeah, it's been all the things, the people that I've seen or the whatever. Probably 98%. If I had to put a
Men.
percentage on it, were
Right.
men.
Yes.
Right. As leaders of this
Yeah.
thing, or you just saying
Members
members are men?
and leaders. Yes.
No,
Okay.
no.
Members and
Definitely
leaders.
not just members.
And
the
leaders.
Leaders.
That's what I'm
leaders.
saying.
Okay.
Leaders and
Definitely,
members.
the members are definitely mixed.
Men.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But a lot of men are leaders,
Yeah.
and a lot
Yeah.
of men, more men are members. And
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yes, and I think I've heard of ladies cults, black bra, whatever, something like that.
Black bra,
Yeah, that's
Black-
what you're gonna know.
black bra.
That's what I just said.
Oh, I'm trying to clarify it.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And that's a cult
Correct.
in
For females.
Nigeria.
Correct.
Wow. Okay. You learn something new every day. I love it.
And then there's one time when I was in school, university, and then I met this guy, and he was like, "Oh, he liked me." I just got into university then, and then he was like, "Oh, I like you," blah 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 blah, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." But we're hanging out. He's come to my hostel, and then one day he told me, "Hey, I'm a part of a group. No, I'm a part of a group." I'm like, "Oh, what kind of group?" He's like, so people call it cult, but it's not cult. But it's not cult. It's just we are 90% or 95% books and 5% violence.
Wait,
Okay.
5% what?
Violence?
Books, academics, like they read and blah blah blah.
Was the second
90,
part?
95%, the 5% violence.
Oh,
Like,
violence.
Yeah, they
Okay.
don't. They're more into books and stuff. I'm like,
Okay.
Yeah, but that
potato,
5%.
potato. I'm
what
like
are you
potato,
doing?
potato. No. So, and then that's the thing. Like, it's usually like they always find like the girlfriends or the
Are they
whatever.
recruiting when they?
No, so
Okay.
maybe if they're trying to catch you for whatever reason, they go to. They want to harm you, or they want you to feel pain. They go to your girlfriend, they kidnap your girlfriend or your thing, or you know what I'm saying. Like people around you try and kill them. And
Like
nah.
drug dealers here.
I'm not trying to.
Drug dealers.
Right.
I'm not trying to
Right.
get. So that was the last time I saw him.
Right? No, that is
'Cause I'd never-
scary. Oh
Like,
my
nope,
gosh.
can never be me.
Well, like I said, like even when we talk about the mainstream religions, they all have that element in there. There's parts of that religion that advocates violence.
No, I think it's just usually the blind following part. I would say it's the blind following that people just, and then people usually, if for religion, I feel like people take they take things too personally. You know what I'm saying? Like some things that should not. I don't want to say like Islam. They say it's a religion of peace, right?
Right.
Mhm.
But I feel and I think they are the most violent people. Yeah, because they fight a lot. They're always attacked on the internet. They're always
Well,
attacked
let me tell you this.
by everything. Like everything, you cannot play with their hijab. You cannot play with their this.
Right,
They're always
they're strict.
fighting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, they're strict.
Right.
That's what I'm
But
gonna say.
violent wise, because this is funny you mentioned that, because we just had this little discussion on internet, on Facebook, I think it was, where somebody mentioned that how the religions was violent, and then they mentioned Islam. Somebody got said, well, no, Islam, and it's like, well, no,
No.
Christianity too. 'Cause if you look at the
The history, yeah.
Christianity has been the most violent religion. People in Europe under Christianity been killing each other for
Right.
hundreds of thousands of years. The Inquisition, all of that. The Crusades coming down into the Middle East, the violence that they brought back into Africa. How Africans are Christians now.
Right.
They didn't become Christians because they just saw this big light in the sky. They got the chain on the whip.
They were forced into Christianity.
So every religion, I was going to say that every religion has that aspect of violence. And if you look in there, there's certain things in there that says, you will do this. Christianity, if they do blah 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 blah, stone them. That's in there. If you wear this, stone them, or go to the city of such and such and kill every man, woman, and child. Same thing. Every religion has those same things. So if you looked at what the definition of a cult is, every religion can fit in that definition, outside of what somebody says, outside of the normal whatever.
Right,
And that's only
right.
because of they've been more successful in subjugating other people.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying that's a fact. Even
Okay.
with Islam, Islam, like I said, I would go to the mosque. I've been there before, and it's the feeling with just Muslim people is very welcoming.
Right.
You feel
Right.
you feel like a brotherhood that's like unlike any other. However, if you look at history and you see how they came across the Middle East and North Africa, you know, that's why you got people in Ghana with the last name of Muhammad. You know, so there is an element. If people want to be realistic about it, if you look at it, every single one of them has that element
of violence, right?
So you just gotta, you know, if people are just sensitive about it, because I might be a Christian or I might be a Muslim or a Jew, whatever. But if you look at it, somebody who's totally on the outside, like y'all in the same fucking oops, y'all in the same bowl. Is the same thing. You got the Buddhists, which are probably the most, I mean,
Peaceful.
the least violent, right?
Yeah, they're supposed to be very peaceful.
I don't even think they exist. I don't. Who worship? Is it Buddha?
Oh, no. Yeah,
I think it's the Indians and stuff.
And a lot of people here do. They as they get older and they start looking at, because most people are a particular religion because that's what they were exposed to,
and that's
all
what
they
their
knew.
parents were.
Right. So when you get older and you start that self-awareness or that self-discovery, you start saying, and that's why they get in the cults too. You start saying, you know, hey, I like that idea, or that sounds good to me. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to kill any more ants. I'm just going to sweep them off the sidewalk. You know. So that's what happens. That's a human thing. That's a human nature thing. That's
of evolution.
Exactly.
You just evolve into something different.
Bingo.
As the older you get, you're different. You just are. You know, the older you get. But we've had some famous or infamous cults in the United States, which is unfortunate because none of these come out okay. Like when I look at them, like, is there anybody in these cults who have ever come out okay? Heaven's Gate.
Okay.
They all killed themselves. Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Lou Nettles was the head of Heaven's Gate, and they believed that they were going to be beamed up by space aliens. I swear.
Okay.
That's what they believe, that at a certain time.
Scientologists too.
Well,
sort of,
Scientology,
kinda, right?
yeah, but at a certain time, a certain year, that they were all going to be beamed up and go to wherever the space aliens were going to take them.
Okay.
I'm not sure how a lot of the men were castrated. They ended up taking poison and they all died. And I'm not really sure how that equaled I'm going to be beamed up and be with the aliens.
Well, they're really space aliens.
Yeah.
Well,
but
they did.
They really thought that that's what was going to happen for them.
You know how many?
39 people died.
Well, how are we sure that they didn't end up doing?
How do we know? How do we know that they didn't get beamed up?
That's right. They went to the morgue.
We don't know.
Because the morgue has records.
Yeah.
Their spirit probably went.
And this was in 97. So.
Oh wow.
The oldest one was the Manson family, and I think that's probably when Helter Skelter came out, when I started paying attention to.
That was in the 70s, right?
Yeah,
early 70s.
Yeah, early 70s. Okay. Helter Skelter, and I probably shouldn't have been paying attention to it, but I did. So Charles Manson wanted to start a race war.
Right.
And I'm not really sure how he thought killing Sharon Tate and the LaBiancas would do that. Yeah. But, you know, he sent his followers blindly in to kill these people. And, yeah, of course, they were arrested. Of course, Charles Manson spent the rest of his life in jail. And I think a couple of these ladies did eventually get out.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
David Koresh.
Yes.
That was the Waco.
Yes.
Yeah. So, he believed that God spoke to him and that he was the prophet on earth for God. Not really sure how that equals him having sex with everybody, all the women in the camp.
Spreading your...
And the men were to remain celibate.
Your holy seed.
I guess so. But, there was a 5-day standoff with ATF, and I think this happened in 93.
Yeah, I remember that.
77 people died in that.
They were fortified.
Yes, yes, they had. And that's the other thing. Like, I don't understand. Like, a lot of them have weapons and all of these things, but if you talk to them, they would say that they were a peaceful cult and they didn't understand why the government was coming for them. But they also would say they were preparing for the government to come for them also. And this Branch Davidians, they were preparing for the government to come after them. And
they came.
And I think they got some of the women, children out, but 77 people died.
And that was a fire, right?
Yeah. Yes. I don't know if they said, okay, so the story that I was reading was just like nobody could tell who shot first.
Okay.
But I kind of feel like the government probably did, because if they shot first, then the story would be, the Branch Davidian shot at us first. So what they're saying is they're not sure who shot first, but they had so much firearms and artillery that the place blew up.
Well, I'm gonna say this. In that particular case, it don't even matter who shot first.
Right.
They came in there to do a job.
Right.
And you did what you did,
and that's what happened.
Right.
And that's what happened. And last but not least, Jim Jones and the People's Temple. What I didn't know about Jim Jones was that starting in the 60s, he was a civil rights advocate.
Really?
Activist. And he did a lot of marches, and he did a lot of things to, change the conditions of black people. Mm-hmm. But somewhere along the line, he got twisted into the People's Temple. Right. And what they believed was that they were going to find a better life in Africa if they all came to Africa, that they didn't have to worry about racism. A lot of his followers were African American. They didn't have to worry about racism. If they went to Africa, he was going to buy this plot of land, and they were going to farm their land and live peacefully.
Mm-hmm. Which I like.
The idea.
But they went to Guyana.
Right, they went to Guyana because they couldn't find land.
Okay.
In Africa. Mm-hmm. So the idea was a good idea. However, they were not prepared
for the Kool-Aid.
The Kool-Aid comes later. They weren't prepared for actually farming land.
Oh, okay.
They weren't prepared for building homes.
Okay.
So the conditions got really bad really quickly.
Okay.
It wasn't enough food. It was pretty bad. And they said that there was some physical and sexual abuse going on at the camp. Somehow somebody got out and told some senators, Congress people, was he a senator? Anyway, some people came to check it out because Jim Jones didn't want the information to get out from what was happening. They shot all of those people at the airport. Yeah, so it was 9 people killed. Who shot? The Jim Jones followers.
Really?
He gave orders to kill them.
I never heard that part.
Yeah, he gave orders to kill it was reporters, senators, I want to say, or congressmen. So I think 7 or 8 people died at the airstrip. Go back. Government's coming for us. This is what we need to do. And here comes the Kool-Aid.
Oh.
So 900 people died.
900?
900 people died. 909 if you can include the people that died at the airstrip.
So that was portrayed in the movie or the television.
I think it was a television.
It's called Guyana Tragedy.
Yeah, I think it's
okay.
This is one though that I don't know why I was so fascinated about it. And every time something comes on TV about it, I'll watch it. And the most recent thing I watched was the women of the People's Temple. And basically the women really was running this thing. Mm-hmm. Like, he was giving them orders and what to do. But without the women, it couldn't have been as, I won't say successful, but maybe as popular as it was, or he probably couldn't have gotten that many people to go with him.
Like the club.
Yeah,
when the women come, that's when everybody else
comes.
Right,
that's when everybody else comes. So, he convinced all of these people that they were going to have a better life. And that's what they were going for. So, I can see how people thinking, especially in the 60s and 70s when racism, not that it ever went away, but was at its most blatant and highest, people would say, okay, I'm going to leave here and I'm going to go and I'm going to have a better life. But that just didn't happen.
Just by going on what you said, it sounded like a pretty good opportunity outside of he didn't think through the that you need some skilled people to do, whatever.
And it got very twisted very quickly.
Okay.
And the women and the mothers gave the syringes of cyanide and Kool-Aid to the children first.
Wow.
And then themselves.
Oh, wow.
So, all right. So now I have another question. people just don't ordinarily have cyanide laying around.
Exactly.
So
that was the other thing. That
was it something that they would, to me, it would indicate
that
it
sounded
was
like it was
pre-planned.
planned,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That sounded like it was
Right.
planned because the government, all of these people believe that the government is coming for them.
Right.
Like all of these cults that I've read about, somehow the government is coming for them, and they have to prepare for the government coming for them.
Like MAGA.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So.
No, they actually think that the government has this big old conspiracy to take down Trump for nothing.
Well, that's what he's telling them.
Yeah, that's what he's telling them, right.
He's telling them that they're going to take your guns. They're coming for you. They're letting all these illegal aliens in.
Right.
That's killing your daughters and your wives. So
Right.
that's the propaganda that he's giving them. That's what he's telling them, and they're believing it. So, in a brief little thing about the Kool-Aid. At the end of this article, like I read like 4 articles about this. At the end of one of the articles, it said it was actually Flavor Aid and Kool-Aid wanted that put out because they felt like that they got a bad rap. And people are still saying they drinking the Kool-Aid.
Drinking the
Like
Kool-Aid,
that,
right,
that
right.
is still a thing. That is still a thing. And they were just like, look, Kool-Aid is saying it wasn't Kool-Aid, it was Flavor Aid. And I'm like, oh my God, 900 people died. That's the only thing that you could think of to say. That was crazy. So yeah, that was a very weird deep dive into humanity that wasn't pretty. The Jeff Warren and the FLDS, I think, fundamentalist something. Fundamentalist Latter-day Saints, where he had like 60 wives. Psycho. He had like 60 wives.
Sounds like
and
a good deal.
80 kids or something crazy, but he was making these kids at 12 marry their cousins, and
Oh, wow.
it's crazy. It was absolutely crazy. And luckily a few of the girls got out, and he's doing life. He's never coming out of jail. He's never coming home. But yeah, it is I'm not sure what it says about humanity that the United States have so many of these cults, but it's scary.
So
It's scary out
I
there.
did look up some things, and we'll talk about that. We'll do a part 2 in this
Okay.
one because it seemed like a pretty good thing. And so there was 16 famous cults, and that most of them I had never heard of, and it's called the Hashishin. That was number 16. Number 15, Adolfo Constanzo Santeria.
Oh, wow.
Santeria.
Santeria. Okay.
cult.
Now, some people believe Santeria is a religion.
A religion.
Okay.
Right, it is. All religions are technically a cult, right?
And you said something about voodoo. A lot of people feel like voodoo is a religion too.
So voodoo actually came from Africa.
Right.
But the Caribbean called it voodoo, but it came from a African religion called Von Dune, I think it's called.
I don't know. That's
She was like, "That ain't nothing I know."
I think it's actually from Nigeria area, but it was called. I think it was called Von Dune. But they obviously when it came over when he brought the slaves over to the Caribbean, you know how they changed names of certain
Right,
things. So
right.
yeah, Japanese cult of the Emperor.
Oh wow.
Was it the Freemasons?
Okay. Now the Freemasons don't feel like that's a cult.
I know.
You
They're gonna-
know
I do have some-
yeah.
Hey, I didn't write this. This is from historycollection.com. My father was they got the Illuminati,
of course.
which is actually
Is that real?
it was real. It was
It
real.
was real.
Yeah, it's from,
Okay.
yeah, but people think that the Illuminati is pulling strings now. The Moonies, I remember
the
that,
Moonies,
right?
right.
Was a guy named Moon?
I don't know. I remember that. The Hare Krishnas, it was all in that same time, I think.
People's Temple, which he mentioned.
People's Temple. Mm-hmm.
Branch Davidians,
Right,
that's number
yep.
8. 7, Heaven's Gate.
Yep.
And I haven't. That's the first time I ever heard of what you
Really?
Yeah, I've never heard of Heaven's Gate.
Was popular. They all had Nikes on when they died. It was a big thing.
Wow.
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge, and they were just like, people were like, "What's the significance of the Nikes?" Like they were just trying to
Like,
dissect it.
And Nike's out there.
This space so you can run
Right,
faster.
right.
Nike's like, those were not Nikes.
Right.
Those were Chinese knockoffs.
Oh my God! Yeah, it was crazy.
Here's another Japanese one. There's a doomsday cult. It's called Aum Shinrikyo.
I'm very bad with
I'm probably
pronunciation.
butchering
Yeah,
that, but
yeah.
that's something from Japan. And then there's the Order of the Solar Temple.
Okay, I haven't heard
I like the name
Like
of
your
that.
solar panel.
Yeah. It said the Order of the Solar Temple was an esoteric cult that merged Gnosticism, alien beliefs, the occult, and other out of mainstream elements. So I guess they merged a lot of that stuff.
Okay.
Number 4 was the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
That's Jeff Warren's, the one I was just talking about with
Yes.
the 60 wives. Mm-hmm.
His name is Warren Jeffs.
Warren Jeffs.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Warren Jeffs.
He has 60 wives.
Yeah.
Alrighty. The movement for the restoration of the 10 Commandments of God.
Okay.
That was in Uganda. Cult of Kali, Kali.
Okay.
That's a Hindu cult, basically. Offshoot of that. And then number 1, and I don't know how they rank these, but
Right.
number 1 was Children of God, which was, I guess, 1960s.
Oh, wow.
David Berg formed what may just be the most notorious, infamous cult in American history. And the groups taught blended ecstatic worship of Jesus Christ with promiscuous sex.
Sound like something
some
he can get
church-
on board with.
With some churches now. I ain't gonna say no names. The one who said these hoes ain't loyal.
Stop talking to me. Just stop talking to me.
So we're gonna continue this because this is a good topic and it was a deep topic, right? We get into the whole religion thing, but let's announce the
Winner.
the winner of August monthly prize.
Drum
And-
roll, please.
The winner is Angie Chanda.
Yay!
Chanda.
Thank you, Angie, for listening.
Yes, Angie's a loyal listener, and she's going to be the winner of this month's prize, which
Last month.
last month. I'm sorry, yeah, last month,
August.
for
This
the
is our
month of
August
August.
winner. Mhm.
And we're going to send that prize to her. We're going to give her. We can't do the
We're gonna
comedy show
give her
tickets.
something fun.
Okay, yeah, we'll give her something that she could use, and because since we can't
And
send her to
and she has to
take picture.
call in or whatever to say thank you.
Okay,
Oh, that would be nice.
Okay.
That really would
you
be
hear that,
nice.
Angie?
Call us.
Call
and
us.
say
Let us know.
hello.
I think she's actually submitted a voice
Oh,
note
okay,
before
she
in the
did.
past.
So we
yeah.
have
Yeah.
well, she can
So
send
she
us
can-
a voice
Yeah.
message saying thank you,
Right.
Thank
and
you
that she
so
received the
much.
gift,
Yes.
so they don't think it's a hoax.
What's our word of the day?
Word of the day. Let's see.
You won't like this one.
Go ahead. Say it. Later.
MAGA.
Who? What'd you say?
MAGA.
MAGA. Okay. So
Okay.
today's word is MAGA. MAGA.
That's today's word. Yeah, I really was surprised. I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe he's not being overly dramatic.
So let me tell you, this is my thing, right? I try to look at everybody's perspective, and I try to take it like I like to look at things from the outside because it gives you more clarity, So I'm not going to say that one political party is better than another political party in certain things, but some things you got to lay things on the line and look at the facts,
Right.
So for me, I would prefer to say, okay, well this political party represents this. I don't like it.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
But when you get to the point where you believe everything they say and you believe nobody's right except for that particular person,
Yeah.
it goes
Yeah.
against just common sense stuff. So, that's what I just had an issue with. But it is what it is.
It is. It is.
So we are. It's something else. We're gonna have. This is what we were talking about earlier. For you Game of Thrones fans,
Oh, yeah.
yes, we're going to start our little series. We're going to talk about Game of Thrones because it was interesting how we just come up with all this new stuff. Mm-hmm. Now, I personally watched it 4 or 5 times.
He's addicted.
Yes, and I've heard the backstories, they have the expanded universe, But yeah, that we're going to have some discussions on that. And if you're a good Game of Thrones fans, just follow, subscribe, whatever, and we may
Join us.
Join us. You can join us on Zoom, and let's chat. And we're also going to talk about coming up Wolverine versus
Deadpool.
Yes,
Okay.
I haven't seen it yet, so we're going to go see that, and we're going to have a talk about it 'cause I heard it was a pretty good movie.
Depends on what you like. That's what I'm gonna say about that.
So, do we want to give any shout outs to any businesses?
We didn't see any business. Did we do any business?
No, you know what?
This week?
We still have to catch up and get that the seafood salad.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I totally forgot about that. So we have the seafood salad. We're gonna also do what's the name of the business? Pizza spot.
City Pizza.
Is it called
City Pizza?
Uh-oh.
Thought that's what it was called. City
Pizza. Well, we'll tell you, but we're gonna check out some pizza joints. We should have actually had that today. Kind of, whatever. But and I think that's it.
That's it.
So stay tuned, like, follow, share, all that other stuff, and we're good. You have any last words?
What you do, ta-da?
She's waiting for you to say
ta. Thank you, family, for listening to the latest episode of Hot Topics. As usual, listen, like, share, subscribe. Ta.
I represent, this is what I do.